Hey everybody, good day, nice day. I'm just doing some spraying some corn, and thought I'd do I just did the video while I was spraying, but listened to it for a second and you can't hear anything, so that wouldn't be too good. But I just thought I'd throw a quick one out on yesterday. Today's Monday, yesterday was Sunday, so we did I guess we do it every day, but Sunday I have off, so I have more time to trying to teach our kids the big Bible stories. Yesterday we did Abraham and Sarah, Abraham and Isaac, and that whole story, and just got me. There's so many lessons in that, and how God spoke to Abraham and told him, promised him that he'd have his descendants would be as many as the stars, right? And he was an old man, and his wife was an old lady. She laughed when the angels came to their house, and she overheard them talking about that she'd have a child. I think she was 65 years old at the time, or something like that. But anyways, and I get that. We all get that. But just on the other hand, to have an angel come to your house and laugh too is. I know if I saw or heard God literally speak to me, although He does. I guess He does at times in ways, right, where we just don't listen. But I'd hope we wouldn't laugh. But in other ways, today we still do laugh, or not believe, or not listen because we want to do things our own way. And if you know the story, which Sarah ends up getting her servant. Her name was Sarai at the time, and to have a child because she didn't believe her servant was younger, to sleep with her husband, and we all know where that went. Long story short, that ended up being the people of Palestine, right? Which today they're still fighting with Israel and God's people, right? So that's when we want things our way, it just doesn't work. And then they ended up having their own child, and they named him Isaac. And then God asked them to sacrifice him, as they made sacrifices back then for sins, right? Usually it was an innocent lamb or a calf, or the picture of what Christ would be to come, right? And how that's a picture. It was neat showing my kids, because I never got that when I was a kid, how that's His only Son, how God's going to send His only Son for every sin for all time eventually, which is Jesus Christ, right? But how hard that would be. I know I couldn't do it. And He did it. Took him to the altar, and he was about to put the knife in him, and what happened? God spoke and said, stop. And then he heard something brushing in the thorns behind them, and there was a ram. So God provided a different sacrifice. But there's so many lessons in the story that I probably don't even understand them all. But the biggest lesson would be, as of where I'm at today, and what I told the kids, is how we always want to do things our own way as humans, right? We always want to put our faith in ourselves to do stuff. And as Christians, we have the Holy Spirit of Jesus to show us the way. We need to take things to God. And I found it interesting, I was watching the NHL Stanley Cup finals last night, how neat that was to see the winner. You knew there's something different about that guy as Carolina Hurricanes, Jordan Stahl, captain, the way he carries himself. And what did he say after the game? Which is frowned upon. I'm sure the Sportsnet didn't like it, but he said that his biggest thing is letting God lead his way and help him through his struggles, and showing him where to go, and that's what's got him where he is. And there's another guy right after, I forget his name. It was really neat to see, to me anyway, being a Christian, right? The guy said, because the people think stuff like that's such a big deal, and it is, it's cool. It's a big deal. And when I was a kid, I was a hockey player. He always wanted to dream of playing the NHL and win the Stanley Cup. But it's neat watching how some of the guys interview. I just had faith in myself to do it, and this and that, and then this other guy beside, I forget his name, like I said, the guy speaking to him from Sportsnet, thinking he's going to be so excited. He said, well, you know what, we don't get our joy from, I forget his exact words, but yeah, this is great, but you don't find true joy in anything. My true joy is in Jesus Christ, which is, for those that don't understand it, you will understand this, that especially if you're a guy that's won a Stanley Cup, if you happen to be watching this, which who knows, like not many watch, but we get things, we strive for things, and nothing wrong with that. But without God, what ends up happening? We strive for it, we get it. Let's say we reach that goal, and we still feel empty because success without God is endless, or it's meaningless. I mean, you don't have God at the end of it. What's it for? It's like saving up, and humanly speaking, let's say you're a rich man, you're storing up, you're buying farms, let's say, or things, possessions, and you don't have kids to give it to. What's the point? Sort of thing, right? It's kind of the same idea. Without God, we all perish. So, true happiness is in Jesus Christ alone. So, just thought I'd throw it out there, and yeah. Even myself, obviously, I'm the same. I try to do things myself a lot. So many different things, or things you want that God knows you don't need. The way somebody's acting that you want to change, but only God can change it. You got to pray for them. Pray for God to change their heart. So, have a great day.